Do you remember all those times that Disney has bragged about just how much money they've made at the box office, and they've used Avatar as an example? Well, folks, what if we told you that now, out of a new report from Disney, it turns out they might not have been making almost any of that money from Avatar, even despite them claiming it for their own. Sounds like they've got some explaining to do. We'll tell you what's going on with James Cameron and the next Avatar. Disney needs the money that they can't have. Hello, folks. Hello, friends. Welcome back yet again. It's a great time every time you decide to spend time with us, and we really do appreciate you. Welcome back to the channel where you're seen and heard. And how can you be heard? Well, of course, folks, drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on all this, and click the like button. Let's dive into Avatar. It's supposed to be a big blockbuster, but it turns out the only person making a lot of money off of it might be the one and only James Cameron. Ladies and gentlemen, Avatar is not going to make any money, and the reason we know that, at least not for Disney, is because Disney kind of said so. No, they didn't want to say so out loud, but, well, we're calling them out, and we're getting it from Guru Focus News. Disney faces challenges in Q1 fiscal 2026 with operating income pressures. Wait a minute. Is this not the same quarter that Avatar is coming out? The big one? The big $1 billion, maybe $2 billion film? Here's what it says. Disney's direct-to-consumer segment is expected to generate $375 million in operating income, but faces a $400 million decline due to unfavorable comparisons with previous theatrical releases. How could it be? They have Avatar coming out. Political advertising revenue is anticipated to fall short by $140 million. Okay, that makes sense. Total sense. Got it. Pre-opening expenses for Disney's cruise line. Okay, yada, got that. But wait a minute. How is it possible that in the same quarter that Avatar is releasing, they would drop with a $400 million decline? Surely this cannot be. Surely this cannot be. Yet, Jonas, it is. Jonas, what does this maybe say about James Cameron and the situation that Disney never really wanted to talk about until now?
Yeah, this is really funny because it seems like Disney has the distribution rights to Avatar, and they have the theme park rights to do one or two lands here, but they don't make any money off of Avatar or the box office from Avatar.
Oh no.
So they're going to say, "Hey, look at how big our box office success is. It was $2 billion." But in reality, they're bringing home sub 500 million.
But wait a minute. You're telling me, Jonas, you're telling me that Avatar, that Disney brags about this movie all the time. It's in every time there's one coming out, they're going to talk about it in their shareholders' earnings reports, everything. You're telling me that Disney actually isn't making money off that? Like, how can that be?
Well, even if they were the ones to make money off of it, they would probably find a way to lose that money anyhow. But in this case, it sounds like James Cameron, when he decided to do an Avatar 2, said, "But I'm going to keep most of the money, just so you know." And he signed that deal with Fox. And then Disney bought Fox. So this is a lot like the Bluey deal. Except that Disney, if Disney got shares in BBC Studios, but Ludo still kept all the money here.
No,
this is the exact kind of property that Disney loves. One with big flashy numbers attached to it that has nothing to do with their quality issues and nothing to do with whether or not they actually take home any of that money.
So Marvin, this is the amazing thing. What this may indicate, and finally be what we've been saying, but we could not definitively prove, is that when Disney puts out, they had a record-breaking year. Mm-hmm. And they say, Avatar lifted us to this. The Way of Water in 2022 broke $2 billion worldwide. And Disney tallies that up and they say, oh, look at us. Oh, we did so amazing. Never, ever, ever has any company done like we did. That's money that goes to James Cameron. Mm-hmm. It's not Disney money, except they get to say that it happened. So Marvin, it would be like if somebody handed you a check to somebody else, and on the way to the bank to give it to somebody else, you waved it about and told people, I've never seen such a big check before. Look what I've got in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hand it off to the person that it belongs to.
Basically, I think that what they might be hoping is that, you know, the rising tide will raise all ships here in the in the sense that if this movie is huge, people are going to want to buy the merchandise and go to the theme park and eat the food and do all this stuff. But that's not what happens with Avatar. It makes $2 billion at the box office and vanishes from the zeitgeist immediately. Nobody buys merchandise. Nobody plays the video games. Nobody does anything outside of goes to see it in IMAX, which means that the only person benefiting off of this is James Cameron.
You know, that's a fantastic point. Tom, this gets into the movie math stuff that a lot of people don't know about. You have to get to these kinds of situations where now it's just out there, right? But a lot of people are not going to connect the dots. They're not going to realize that, hey, when Disney says we're facing a real problem, and how can that be? Avatar's in there. That's the giveaway, right?
Well, I mean, my understanding from this is, and I don't know the specifics, but when Cameron made this deal back in the day, you're right. He gave up a bunch of stuff for the first film for rights to the sequels, and even pre-sold like HBO rights, because these movies cost so much money to make initially. They had to come up with a bunch of money. And this is what when people don't understand where Hollywood generally, I mean, I know we like to make fun of Disney losing as much money as they do, but I'm really curious at how much they are actually losing, because a lot of this stuff is amortized through other things. Like, they don't spend their own money on these movies. They come up with other ways to bring in money. And yes, certain portions of it are through the company, but at the same time, it's just, what is it that they're doing here to kind of make up the back end on this? Because otherwise, what's the incentive to do this?
You know, Tom, you made a great point. And I noticed you've got a Ninja Turtle on your shirt. I love turtles. But Tom, Ninja Turtles is a property that has not had a lot of success as of late, and yet does great merchandising still. People love the toys. So you're exactly right. How is it that kids, if Avatar is such a big thing, how is it that kids are not buying up Banshees or whatever it is at Walmart, Le Target, Costco, etc.?
Well, that's the problem, is culturally, Avatar has had like zero impact on the US, right? And that's kind of the point I was going to get to, is that outside the US, it may be bigger, and I do know that it does have some sort of impact because the box office shows that. But I think even the second film, the US box office fell off more. And again, for the longest time, I tried to ask people, have you seen the movie? Have you seen the movie? And nobody had seen it. It's like, how can this be one of the biggest movies of all time, the second one, yet nobody had seen it that I knew outside of YouTube?
It's kind of like Bruce Springsteen in that way.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck? Everybody's talking about this, or it's supposed to be this big, huge movie, but yet nobody has seen it. But at the end of the day, I don't think Avatar 3 is going to help Disney all that much. It's more like a distribution deal, basically the way you guys are describing it, in my understanding at this point, because Cameron has so much control over his projects. Like, the only one in more recent years that I think he turned over some control on was Titanic. And I think that was just to get the movie done. And I think that's the only reason that Paramount can keep releasing Titanic without his permission. Because otherwise, every time a movie of his, they have to go through him and all that. So he has major control. So that tells me he makes the most money off these movies at the end of the day. I bet he gets a huge lion's portion of the box office. I bet whatever deals that he has with his companies that were made, Disney's probably seeing pittance of it. They got probably a distribution deal through Fox, and that's about it. I think because they didn't even pay out HBO to get the rights to show the second one on Disney Plus. So that movie ended up costing them more money at the end. So I'm still curious if they really made all that much money. And I hate bringing this up as I usually do. The foreign box office isn't worth as much as you think. Yeah, it's great for bragging rights, but at the end of the day, they're lucky if they keep a third of that. And that's if it just wasn't a distribution deal to begin with. And what I mean by that is a lot of these areas, they'll just pay a flat fee, right? Whether the movie bombs or whether it makes a buttload of money, you take that risk, and Disney doesn't get any benefit off that if the movie makes a bunch more money than what they got paid out. That's usually the case, or anybody for that matter. It's not just Disney, it's any studio. And it all depends on the region and where they're at. Like, that's one other reason why they got sick of doing business with China, because they were lucky to see 10 cents on the dollar most of the time. And Disney was one of the companies that actually benefited the most from those deals, because they actually had the Shanghai Disney. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if Avatar is really going to make any sort of bump for Disney. It's not going to save them from the crap that they've put out this year. I mean, just Snow White alone and some of the other bombs that they've had, the Marvel stuff is really going to hurt them at the end of the day.
This is the thing that shareholders should know, Tom, and that's why I'm so glad we're getting to have this conversation. Shareholders, investors out there, we're not giving financial advice, but they may be hanging on for dear life thinking, Avatar is going to come in and change things around. It's been a bad quarter. Fantastic Four didn't perform, but, Avatar's on the way. And it's like,
I've not seen a single kid dress as Avatar in years for Halloween. So,
yeah. James Cameron also says if this doesn't do well, he might drop out. I have my doubts. I think he's probably going to make the next two contractually. I'm not sure, but who knows? Maybe he can find somebody else to make them, but he's going to be making lots of bank off this. Meanwhile, looking rank for Disney. Panel, any other thoughts on the idea that Avatar now is exposed?
Or he'll turn around and say it was always meant to be a trilogy. We heard him wrong.
It was always meant to be. Always meant to end in fire and ash. All right, folks, at last, we've got the evidence we need to say almost definitively Disney's not making bank off of Avatar, even if they've been telling all those investors for these years in the past, look at us, Avatar's back. The Hollyweirds don't understand how it is we do what we do, bringing you video after video every single day of the utmost highest excellence and quality. But folks, we do it because of you. We appreciate you. You are seen and heard here on the Pro Channel. Make your voices heard, folks, by doing one last thing before we say goodbye for a short time. Consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, and you know what? That notification bell, click it and stick it to the algorithms. Also, drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. And don't forget, folks, we've got even more content on the way. If you'd like to become a member, it's just the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of exclusive content beyond what the public sees, including archival footage of the Pro Show that goes away after just a few days from its public release. Folks, we hope we get the honor of spending time with you again soon, and until then, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.